afternoon, Marcela, Suli, Marlene, and Liliana.
Good afternoon, teacher.
Good
Good
afternoon,
afternoon,
teacher.
teacher.
Okay, I hope you feel good today. Today we are going to talk about a topic that I think it is very easy for you, and that you can do it in a very fluid way, in order to try to share your ideas about the role that women has today and during the history, in order to give their aportations to science, culture, and art. Okay, so please, first of all, you are going to comment the videos. So one of you are going to start, and then you are going to give the word to the other person. Okay, go ahead. Who wants to start?
Hi, teacher. Uh, the videos show us information about the woman in the history, in the events, and in different aspects of the life. First, we saw watch watched a video about Adriana Campo. She is a scientist of from Colombia. She when she was a girl, she was fascinated of universe, and she works at NASA. Eh, she was in the first image of Jupiter, and she incentive at the younger women to study chemistry, physics, and to be science. After we saw a video about the rise of the woman, that is a fight through the history in the century in the 18th century. Olympia the George fight but for the rise of the woman, um, for the dignity and freedom. After that fight, she was murdered in the 18 in the same century. Mary Wollstonecraft look for recognition of the rights of the woman, like education, political rights, and rights in the work. 8th of the March of 1877, a worker of textiles uh, made a huge strike in New York, demanded for rise of work and equality in the work. That caused 180 women was died after that. In the century 19, the first conference, the work about the woman. About after that, there was a different conference. The 8th of March, 1911, uh, Germany, Denmark, and Switzerland celebrate and commemorate the 8th of March, like Day of Woman. In 1972, organization Unity Organization of Nations Unidas decided and choose the 8th of March like International Day of Woman. Mm, After we found a difference, and the video described different days about a conference, like the main idea is the reivindication of the woman into the society. After we found seven women who changed the world. First, Harriet Beecher Stowe. He was an activist anti-slavery. She wrote a book, Las Cabañas de Pioton. She made famous that legend, anti-slavery, and that was the second book best seller in the century 19. After Anna Frank, she was a writer of Diary of the Holocaust. She described a bad part of the history of the humanity, that is Germany and the file of gathering. After Simone de Beauvoir, she was a philosopher, a writer. She wrote Second Sex in 1949. That was a book. She was existentialist. His book distinguished the work or the job of feminists. The church declared that book a forbidden book. She was wife of Jean-Paul Sartre. After Rosalind Franklin, she was very important in the history, like ADN. That was she didn't receive the prize of the prize, but she helped to this other science because her pictures, photographies of her eggs was so important in that part of that discoverment. In 1958, she died. After we found Billie Jean King, she was a deportist of tennis. She won 39 titles, and he won a man, and built and conformed association of the tennis who helps to the woman. After wandering Manhattan, she founded the movement Greenbird ambientalist. She received the Prize Nobel of Peace in 1994. She founded that movement in 1977. She looks for empower the women of the countryside, and give information about change of the weather. And finally, Emily Pangford, she looked for the right to the vote. She was a British. Uh, she founded a movement with other women who looked for the right of the vote. Thank you.
Okay, next one.
Okay, I'm going to try to make my resume. I was checking the video of the seven famous women or seven the most important seven women in the world. Um, was really interesting because they say that uh, if if they ask you who uh, who is who is a scientific, you mention a man. If they ask you who is a famous writer, you mention a man. But uh, never the people mention the woman's, and the woman uh, has had a very important role in the world. For example, uh, I like when they mention in the video to Anna Frank because she was uh, a girl of only 13 years old. She was a Judy girl. She was born in Germany when Hitler was the president. Um, and what else? And she wrote a diary of the Holocaust. Um, she wants to to say how was it in her diary. So uh, only 3 weeks before she died, the camp was liberty or was uh, free. Another woman was uh, I don't know how is his name exactly. Billie Jean, something like that. She was a tennis, and she won a match between a, a man and her. She won to the man of 55 years old. Mm, there was a woman that discovered the theory or present a picture about the ADN, and that was really important too. Mm, there was another woman who make a great made a great apport. How do you say aporte?
Apportation or gift.
Apportation to the environment, to the global warming. Mm, what else? Another woman who was philosophy who brought a book, who started a war. I don't remember the names exactly, but I know that those women give a really important uh, contribution to the sciences, to the sports, um, to the philosophy of 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 the world.
Thank you, Sully. Next one, Marlene.
Hello, teacher. The video is about the history of the woman. I I want to say about the history, the Women Day, because is a historical, but um, they gave they list because we we can celebrate um, this day. Um, uh, other history is about the women in the NASA. They they is they and she is counting uh, about or, or the time because it's very important for use because it's a history um, for all. Um, other history is about the author Cabaña del Kyoto. Mm, I eh, I I knew the history because it's about Mensa, but is mm, because this time eh, or the meme that um, that had lead many history near uh, excuse me far of the your family and this this is this was a story international and mm, many many videos I can see and I don't remember teacher. This is my report.
Thank you, Marlene. At last, finally, Liliana, please, your comments.
Okay, teacher. I think that there are many women in the world, and especially in okay, uh, there are many women in the world that have been contributing in many different environment to help to the independence or the different contributions in the different sciences or spaces, and there is a big important contribution. For example, I like it. Rosalind Franklin. She was a scientist, científico, scientist,
Scientist.
scientist. He studied chemistry and crystallography. This is a new word for me, and it's very interesting uh, career. And she had to understand the ADN crystallography. Okay, teacher. Um, the ADN for for the for the war, and it was a, a big contribution for the medicine of the human, and she don't was recognized, um, but your contribution was great. Another um, woman very interesting was I don't remember the name. Okay, Wangari Matai. She won the Nobel of the Peace, and she gave a great report about the medio ambiente, the the environment environment. And it is very important for the world, because actually we need that type of people with this type of contributions. mm, in the science and technology, I like the message of Adriana Ocampo, uh, because he was in the NASA, and she said that in the NASA need many women that study physics or astronomy or chemistry, because the woman can contribute with um, new contributions or discoveries for the people or for the world.
Okay, thank you, Liliana. Now we are going to try to play a certain game. I am going to give you one name, and you are going to tell me what you knew about this character, and what you are knowing, what you know from now on. You're going to take into account the information that is given in the Semana magazine, the 50 most important Colombian women, because it is okay, Merlin, because it is new for me. Okay, first character. You're going to tell me about Patricia Lara. Who is Patricia Lara? Patricia Lara. Okay. Mm, please, Sully, tell me, what do you know about her?
I am checking the article, teacher.
You couldn't watch it?
I am reading.
Okay.
Patricia Lara.
Uh-huh. Yes. Who is Patricia Lara?
Mm,
Did you know something about her?
teacher.
Okay. I am going to share with you some information in the chat, and you are going to tell me what are the contributions of this Colombian woman to the country. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Here is Patricia Lara. Patricia Lara. She was an important before to be an actionist majority, and she was president of the magazine Cambio 16. She she is Romulo Lara's son, Dagger, one of the bigger businessmen of the country. Mm, mm, mm. She was uh, she was a how do you say periodista?
Journalist.
Journalist. Mm, mm, mm. She was the founder of the magazine Nueva Frontera, and she had a old magazine. It's all teacher.
Okay. Thank you. What do you think that? Why do you think that she is important in our nowadays environment and situation in Colombia? Why do you think that she is um, a good contributor in our country?
She was a liberal woman, and she come her dream true, and that is something that uh, nobody or only some people can do. She had her own magazine, and I think that was the most important contribution that she gave to our country.
Okay, Sully, do you think that a journalist can live in a very peaceful or very hard situation in Colombia? Why?
Yes, I think that they have in a hard situation here in Colombia because uh, here is very difficult to express what do you think about something, to express your own ideas, because um, here I too much violence. Um, they could die to they could be killed for somebody who doesn't know what they say on the magazine, on their newspaper, or on the social media. It's really hard. For example, Jaime Garzón, he
Uh-huh.
was killed because he always say the truth, and he was, mm, how do you say, in contra,
Against.
against to the government, because he opens the people eyes
Mm-hmm.
to see the truth about the situation of the country. And here in Colombia, there are very dangerous people that doesn't like that you speak bad about them.
Can you remember, Suli, other journalists, women journalists, mm, names?
Mm. In this moment,
Mm-hmm.
eh, mm,
No.
actually, Vicky Davila, but I don't like how she she say the news. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Mm, but there is a lot of women like she works in the Canal Uno.
Yeah.
She's a brown girl.
Can you remember the following names? Diana Turbay, Azucena
Mm,
Liébano, Azucena Liébano. What is the name of the girl that is doing the campaign against violation and mistreatment to women? What is the name of that journalist? Mm,
no, teacher, I can remember.
uh-huh. I am mentioning three names of journalists that had been kidnapped, excuse me, napped, secuestradas, and one of them was raped and violented by paramilitary forces. She's the one that is it is organizing nowadays the campaign against female mistreatment. So it is important to remember these names because they were living very hard situations, and I think that it was a part of their role as a journalist. And what you said before, it is very difficult to try to express in a very free way what they really mean about the situation they are living. So I think that it is important to rent a kind of homage in this session to these brave women. Okay, Suli?
Okay, teacher.
Thank you very much. Now we are going to talk to Marcela about Cecilia López de Montaño. Who is Cecilia López, Marcela?
Cecilia Lopez de Montaño was a ministry of of environment. She became a destaced ministry when Samper was a president. Mm, from that place, he obtained to destacate the ecological topic in that in that uh, in that time. And now the country, our country, don't have a ecological conscience. He assumed a challenge the others management of the seguros sociales. Uh, he was vice ministry of the agricultura. Um and he was teacher in different universities. She was economics of the. She is in economics of the la Universidad de los Andes, con with post postgraduate studies. Uh, Postgraduate studies of economy of the education. And she is an important woman, and she make and she uh, made an important aspects, an important contribution into the ministry, into the topics, ecological topics and environment, and that is a style uh, more into the career of the Cecilia Lopez.
Okay, Marcela, can you remember any other woman, some other women that are important in politics in Colombia?
Uh, yes, yes. In the last years, we can found a different women who destacate and made an important develop into the politician. For example, I think in the 2 weekends ago in Bogota, chose the first mayor in their city, Claudia Lopez. I forgot the name. She is
Uh-huh.
an important politologa. She is a woman who have uh, fighted for the rise in different aspects, and the politologist in different aspects of the political life.
Mm-hmm.
She has been destacated like into the different uh, partidos or groups of the politician. She defended the environment and a rise of women, and in different transmission of television or in news we can found the clear ideas about politician in Colombia, and different aspects that are so important in our context today. After other woman was Noemi Sanin. She was a candidate to the presidency of Colombia some years ago. That is part of recognize the importance of the woman into the polit, politi- politician and the important aspects and contribution of the and ideas of the woman. She didn't win, but is that is a step to the to the fields the woman can obtain into the society, Colombian society.
Okay, Marcela, thank you. Good information. Now we are going to talk to Marlene. Marlene, please mention who is uh, Maria Cristina Mejia. What do you know about her?
Okay, teacher. Maria Cristina Mejia is a excellent painter because uh, she she uh, had made the many work. For example, uh, eh, el fruto del vientre, eh, mujer con niño, eh, cheese, 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 eh, a, a mother, eh, eh, o ostrixon, eh, cheese, eh, chilis in Ecuador, eh, eh, María Cristina mm, is María Cristina was a car accident uh, uh, when she had um, 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you did was uh, be architect, uh, but she um, uh, I can she cannot because she uh, decide to be many word about the picture.
Uh-huh. Okay. Thank you, Marlene. Can you tell me if you remember some other names about writers, painters, or sculptors in Colombia? Do you remember,
Uh,
for example, Fanny Buitrago? Who is Fanny Buitrago?
um, no, teacher, no, no,
Mm-hmm.
uh, not remember.
Okay, a very important writer in the 80s, 70s, and 80s. She was very important in the sense that she started um, letting women express all the situations that they had inside in a very free way. She tried not to accept the control and the critic around, because it was a very hard time to live in Colombia, and she published her books in a very uh, wide way. Thank you, Marlene. Now we are going to talk to Liliana. Please talk about Yvonne Nichols. Who is Yvonne?
Okay, okay, teacher. Yvonne Nicole is a public relationist. Uh, she she worked or she's a public relationist of Seguros Bolívar. Mm, um, she has managed to create a social platform that has become a mandatory skill for all the characters of the political and economic life of the country. Uh, the bonus house in Teusaquillo um, is a neighborhood of Bogota, and it has been um, a original and authentic gathering that the Bogotans have had to in the recent years. Um, 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 the article say that it has been archived without ever changing his discreet, simple, and prudent personality. Mm, eh, really, is the first time that I know about the bone. Mm,
Okay, Liliana, thank you. Do you remember some other women that has the this kind of importance in Colombia? For example, do you remember the name of the of the people who organize the woman who organized the Vallenato Festival? Who was her name?
no, no, teacher, no.
Do you remember, Suli?
Yes, teacher.
What is her name?
Cons- Consuelo Araujo.
Uh-huh. And she has a girl in the government, and nowadays she is working in Transmilenio. What is their name? What is her name?
I don't know, teacher.
Mm-hmm. I can remember. I neither remember the name of the girl, but she is working nowadays as the director of the project in Transmilenio. So there are many women that sometimes we can notice. We know at first. Next situation. Do you remember girls that were part of the Liberator campaign? For example, I can remember Policarpa Salabarrieta. Can you give me another name? Okay, Marlene, do you remember?
Eh, about Policarpa Salabarrieta teacher is she was a woman
Mm,
uh, that mm, mm, that did many things for the for the for the for the country. Uh, uh, I remember you Frax celebrate ya sea por salvar la patria, pero I don't remember many things, teacher.
okay, thank you, Marlene. Liliana, do you remember Antonia Santos? Liliana, do you remember something about Antonia Santos?
Antonia Santos is a woman, a representative woman of the independence, with the same to Policarpa Salabarrieta. Eh, she fight eh, eh, en contra, eh, fought fought um, against, to Spain, and and she was in the troops, or groups that had to with the 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 okay, the patriotic troops, in the Pantano de Vargas, and and Boyacá. I don't remember more.
Okay, thank you, Liliana. What about you, Sully? Do you remember, for example, Manuela Beltrán?
Mm, the teacher, and she was a communist woman, something like that.
Okay, thank you, Sully.
She
And
was revolutionary.
okay, thank you. And Marcela, the other Manuela. Manuela, what is the name of the other Manuela in our history?
Thanks.
Uh-huh, Manuela Sáenz. Okay. What do you know about her?
I am reading. uh, he was a Ecuadorian woman. Uh, she was known like heroine of the independence. Uh, Manuela Sanz. Uh, in that time of the war of the history, he wasn't recognized. After that was named like a grand heroine, and a woman who held to the independence in different countries of the South America. Eh, mm, see, I don't know more. Eh, she helps to she helped to Simon Bolivar, and I don't know more about that about her.
Okay, Marcela, now we're going to our last part. You are going to ask, please, your partners in order to solve certain doubts that you have or some information that you want to know about women in Colombia, okay? You are going to be a kind of interviewer, and the other women, Sully, Marlena, and Liliana, are going to be the interviewed, okay? So please start asking them. Can you hear me? No.
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Marcela is going to ask some questions, and you are going to answer. Okay.
Okay,
I
teacher.
ask uh, forcefully. Yes.
Yeah,
So,
you are going to ask the other woman. Okay.
all our partners. A lot of questions. Uh, uh, for all the question you have, do you know names of about women who are destacate into the like a writer? Names of destacate writer in America or other.
Mm, I was reading and I found that Soledad Acosta disappeared. Was a journalist, was a writer. She wrote 21 soap operas, and she had 5 newspapers.
Thank you, Lilian. Another question, teacher, for other partner? Yes.
Yes, please.
Muchas preguntas. Marlene, about the lectures reading, which was the character or woman who most liked you, Marlene?
Yes, yes. Oh, okay, Marcy. Present. Tell me. Sorry.
Yeah, yes, of course. Who, according with the text, with the videos, who was the woman who you like more about the again, who was the woman who liked you read or you liked the contribution to the story?
Okay. Um, for me, I like the history about the woman um, um, that that did in um, in a, a, a march because it's a history exact because they gave your leave for for um situation uh, this situation uh, uh, he'll he'll you he'll you for um, um, the many reason uh, the this 118 women this uh, this day, uh, but is a history that we um, should remember for the all day or all live. Sorry, all this. Thank you, Marcela.
Okay, thank you, Marcela. Now,
Thank you.
to finish our session today, you are going to express in only one sentence the positive things about the work realized for these women. And in another sentence, you are going to express what you the way you feel uncomfortable or worried about the less recognition that they have in our country. Okay, so please let's start with Marlene.
Okay, teacher. I I should to start with the exercise, teacher. Phoenix.
Yes, Marlene.
Okay. Uh, my sentence is about the many women had maybe many things, but uh, but in the uh, in the in the present uh, of the woman in the woman have uh, many right. For example, uh, for example, um, for example, the woman continue being the mother and taking or the son in the house in the home, teacher. Thank you.
Thank you, Marlene. Now, Sully, please.
I think that the best role that the woman has took in Colombia is the political role. Uh, the woman have given a really important contribution in the political, but I think that she needs to be recognized, recognized, and she needs to have the same support that the men has, because here in Colombia, I think that the men has more uh, importances than the women's.
Thank you, Sully. Now, Marcela, Liliana, excuse me, it's your turn. Liliana.
Okay. I think that the woman um, has fight and contribute uh, throughout the time in a long battle battle um, because the the woman has been showing her potential and strengths little by little, and she has shown that she's as important as the man, and that is why she is in shares of equality and recognition. The woman um, has been studying and growing for your uh, anhelos, uh, and she wants to to give and contribute in new things, and they have a good and excellent thinking that uh, uh, had can show to the world. Actually, the woman had a great a high positions in different environments, and is very good.
Thank you, Liliana. Finally, Marcela, please.
I think all of the work that women made in the past have contributed to the history to reivindicate the woman into the history like a human being, a feeling being, and who has the equal values that as a man. I think it's important uh, from every files the woman work can apport and contribute to the society to develop the society, um, like with like Marlene said, from home, because the family is so important into society. Maybe worry about the woman don't don't have the enough uh, enough recognition into the life of or the society is the it's important to destacate all the work and all the skills we have, and we can apport in the same way to the men, maybe with a different point of view because we are different, but to contribute to the develop of our society and our world.
Okay, thank you, Liliana. Thank you, Suli. Thank you, Marlene. And thank you, Marcela. It was great to be here and see you next Saturday. Thank you for your contributions and your commitment to this session. Goodbye.
Goodbye, teacher.
Goodbye, teacher.
Goodbye,
Thank
teacher.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Okay, see
See
you.